out of Waterbury, Connecticut. Mo Tweedy will start 10th on the grid with 5 cars scheduled to qualify. 5 cars out of this first round for the NASCAR Winston Model 5s. 2 by 2, side by side. They're set to get the green off the 4-3rd. They thunder towards third number 1. It is Jamie the Jet Tomato out in front in the white number 99. Ricky Fuller wastes no time at all. He stays glued to the back bumper as they come off turn number 2. Battle already occurring on the racetrack for the number 3 spot. Fuller wheels in, gets hooked up, taps the back bumper of Tomato as they come off this time. Top 2 position, single file. Battle is for third. Ray Miller moves to the inside. The racetrack, Kramer works his way on the outside. They are evenly matched heading into turn number 2. That's where the action is. For third, we've got Miller into the number 3 spot. Kramer has to settle for the 4th position. Ray Miller holds on to that 5th spot. 6th is the number 81 of Bernie Singer. 7th is Tim Airy, but 5 and only 5, the mighty 5, and 2nd in the top 5 position. Those will make the move up into our main event for the competition here this afternoon. Currently, S.J. Monson holds down that final qualifying spot for the Billy Simon Zone, number 9. It is still a brand new automobile, first appearance ever here at Stafford, setting the pace, the Gearhart Chevrolet. Number 99, and that, of course, is Jamie the Jet Tomato. Ricky Fuller running in the number 2 spot with the S.J. Sullivan Chevrolet number 55. It is still Ray Miller setting in the 3rd position. Jerry Traveler holds down the 4th spot, and 5th is currently held down by S.J. Monson in the number 9. 4 laps is counting down. This modified qualifying heat number 1 for Pentax Camera Cup qualifying action here this afternoon. It is still a single file drive as they head down the back straightaway. Jamie the Jet Tomato is the man who sets the blistering pace with car number 99. Ricky Fuller holds on in 2nd. He will start to reel him in the closing laps of this event. But it might give out a signal from the field that this is the halfway point in qualifying action with 5 cars scheduled to qualify here. They get single file deep into turn number 3. It is still Tomato over Ricky Fuller. Miller running comfortably in 3rd. Jerry Kravner setting in the 4th spot. And 5th is currently held down by the 9 of S.J. Monson, a car usually driven in competition by Ray Miller. Single file racing action behind S.J. Monson just out of a qualifying spot. It is Bernie Singer, car number 81. Tim Airy, the number 27. Craig Gabrielle, car number 11. And the number 51 of Danny Galulu. 6 laps have counted down in this qualifying event here at the Stafford Speedway for the NASCAR Winston Model 5. It is still the 99, the car that has led the first 7 circuits of competition. This time they'll face the popsicle stick. 2 laps remaining in this qualifying event for the NASCAR Model 5. Off the 4th turn, down to the line, the 2-lap marker is being driven. Like popsicle sticks, it comes up to the car finish line, and it appears that Tomato will be anything but challenged during these final 2 circuits of competition. However, the situation for S.J. Monson is a whole lot different. He is holding on for dear life in the quest for that final qualifying spot as the white flag is out in less than 1 circuit. It'll all be history here at Stafford for this NASCAR modified qualifying event. On turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Jamie the Jet Tomato has literally been unchallenged in this qualifying action. He comes off the 4th turn. Checkered flag is out, taking down the victory. Jamie Tomato. In for 2nd, Ricky Fuller. 3rd spot, Ray Miller. 4th spot, Jerry Kravner. And in the 5th and final qualifying spot, S.J. Monson with car number 9. Ladies and gentlemen, to recap the finish for you, driving the Gearhart Chevrolet number 99, a brand new automobile for Jamie the Jet Tomato will secure the victory in NASCAR Modified Heat number 1. Into 2nd, the M.J. Sullivan Chevrolet number 55 for Ricky Fuller. 3rd spot, the Jason Toole Superior Auto Sales number 7 for Ray Miller. 4th spot, the Frenchie Racing Enterprises number 88 for Jerry Kramner. And in the 5th and final qualifying position, the Billy Simons number 9 automobile for S.J. Avanson. Those 5 cars will move into the Pentax Camera Shop Modified main event. Is coming up next is round number 2, and here's Russ Down.
And of course, for Brian Schofield out of Munson, Massachusetts, that's modified Chevrolet. Pace car is in. The yellow flag remains out, however. Situation in turn number 1 with Ray Miller trying to get back to the pit area. Tommy Voles, Stan Greger, John Hoffman, Falcone, Park, and Schofield. 5 cars make the move into the feature event here later on today. Off the turn and at the line, it will be the number 4. Buzz Leader begins to work his way to turn number 1. Sets that Mystic Missile up between 1 and 2, heads down the back straightaway. Dave Resendez works his way into the 2nd spot. Right on his rear bumper is the 0 Corky Cookman. The 37, Stan Greger, works the bottom end of the racetrack. He gets hooked up underneath Tommy Bowles, but Bowles has the advantage at the line. Into turn 1 they go. It is Stevens, Brizende, Cookman, the 76 of Bowles, the 37 of Stan Greger, the 10 of Falcone, the 1 of Hoffman, the 19 of Park, and the 09 of Schofield. That's how they run single file off the 4th turn, and at the line, 2 laps now posted up on the scoreboard. The veteran, Carl Bud Stevens, leads the charge off the 2nd turn. A spin down in turn number 1. It's the 37 automobile for Stan Greger. 2 laps are posted up on the scoreboard. Carl Bud Stevens started on the pole by virtue of his time trial placement, and as a result has managed to lead the first 2 laps of this qualifying event, setting the pace. Green flag is out. Everyone caught sleeping for just a second or 2, but Stevens is able to pick up the lead, and off the turn, it is the veteran Stevens bringing them into turn number 1. Down on the inside, Corky Cookman in the route show of car number 0. Slides underneath Dave Resendiz, and Cookman now sends it right to the rear bumper of Stevens. Through turns 3 and 4, running nice and low. It's the Mystic Missile with Bud Stevens at the controls. Brings them across the line and leads yet another lap. 3 laps up on the scoreboard. 10 laps is the distance. 5 cars to make the move into the feature event. As it stands right now, John Falcone is the car on the bubble. John Hoffman, 1 spot out. Bobby Park, 2 spots out. Up front, the battle is still for the lead as Cookman literally pushes Bud Stevens down the front straightaway as the bumpers were locked together for just a second. Off the 2nd turn and down the back stretch. The leader continues to be Carl Bud Stevens. But Corky Cookman once again bears down on the rear deck of Stevens. This time he looks to the inside. Has to tuck it back in as Stevens manages to use exactly the proper location of real estate. Down the back straightaway, Stevens runs just about dead center on the chute. Works his way through turns 3 and 4. Keeps the car nice and low. Drifts back up toward the wall. It is Stevens at the line, and Cookman continues to look for running room. Stevens not playing any games with Cookman at all, using a little different groove each time around the track. Shows exactly why he is the crafty veteran that he is known to be. Cookman looks to the outside, can't make a go. That time has to tuck it back in. Down the front straightaway. Stevens at just about mid-racetrack. Cookman looking to the outside. Stevens hooked up once again off the turn as Cookman takes a peek deep into turn number 3. He holds the 0 up in that 2nd groove as they work their way off of turn number 4. Carl Bud Stevens continues to set the pace as they follow the lead down the front straightaway. Stevens out front as the yellow flag has been posted. John Falcone going around with Wilson Safety Products car. Flat right front tire is caused that spin, and Falcone, who had earlier been running in a qualifying spot, now heads to the pit area. And green flag comes out. No one's caught sleeping that time. And Bud Stevens once again dominates the restart situation. He leads them down the front straightaway. It is Stevens into turn number 1. Stevens, Cookman, Resendiz, Bowles, Hoffman, and Greger. 5 cars make the move. As it stands right now, the car on the bubble is the number 1 of Hoffman. This time around, the white flag is out. Final circuit for Carl Bud Stevens and for Corky Cookman. Stevens in deep into turn number 1, leads the field down the back straightaway. As Cookman takes one final look at the outside. Between 3 and 4, Corky runs the high groove. Bud's in the low groove. At the line, it will be Stevens, Cookman, Resendiz. In that order. Then it will be the 76 of Bowles, the 1 of Hoffman. Those are the cars that make the move into the feature event. Carl Bud Stevens in car number 4. Then it is the 0 of Corky Cookman, the 79 of Dave Resendiz, the 76 of Tommy Bowles, and car number 1 for John Hoffman.
Pace extremely slow in this one for a start of a qualifying event. As starter Frank Scavato and Chris Hopkins address the field off turn number 4. Green flag is out and Everett set the pace to the turn 1. But Jimmy's Husband likes to get hooked up on the outside. Mike Stefanik moves into the hunt. They come off the second turn. Pedal to the metal. Down the back straightaway. We've got Everett out in front from car number 1. Everett will set the pace coming off the turn. We've got Stefanik going to the outside rather quickly. Teddy Riggett down low. But in turn number 1, it is still the number 1 automobile for Doug Everett. But Everett makes the mistake of leaving the door open on the inside. He gets on the bubble heavy coming off turn 2. Slingshot's back out in front. Spencer has to settle for second. Mike Stefanik into the number 3 spot. And 4th is Teddy Riggett. This spot currently held down by the 85 of Jack Kyle. 6th spot, 1 spot out of a qualifier. The double 0 of Marty Bradley. Meanwhile, back down to the straightaway. It is Mike Stefanik to take over the number 2 spot from Jim Spencer. Stefanik literally can put that automobile both high and low on the racetrack of brand new Priscilla. Jack Woodchopper special dials in and puts a bid for the lead in turn 2. It is Mike Stefanik to set the pace down the back straightaway. Stefanik is out in front. Everett has to settle for second. Then we go to the number 8 automobile for Jim Spencer in the 3rd spot. 4th is Teddy Riggett. And 5th spot will be the number 85 of Gentleman Jack Kyle. 5 cars and only 5 to make the move up here. Coming off turn number 2. It is still Mike Stefanik leading it to the 3rd turn. This time around, they'll face the halfway point of this qualifying event number 3. Halfway off turn number 4. Stefanik still out in front. Everett still running an impressive second. Jimmy Spencer still holds down in the quest for the 3rd position. 4th spot is still Teddy Riggett. 5th spot currently held down by the 85. That will be the last qualifying spot. We'll keep our eyes on the challenges that could develop late in this event, but the laps continue to tick away. It is still mighty Mike Stefanik holding off Doug Everett, and Jim Spencer also trying to work his way back in. Now Spencer will bid for the number 2 spot down underneath Everett's number 1. Deep in turn number 3. Good battle shaping up for the number 2 position. They run nose to tail impressively. Bumper to bumper coming off the turn. Deep in turn number 1. You've got your lead car on in front, and that of course is car number 15 for Mike Stefanik. Everett still holding on in the quest race for the number 2 spot. That is Jim Spencer literally all over his back bumper. This time around they faced a 2-lap mark. Less than 2 laps will be history here for this qualifying event. Round number 3 for the NASCAR Modified. Spencer can see how the door opens up, but just as quickly as that door opens up in his quest for the number 2 position, it suddenly will close here in this qualifying round. This time around, the white flag is out. In less than 1 circuit, it will be history here at the half-mile facility and go into the record books the way you see it basically on the racetrack, and the checkered flag will come. Jim Spencer is well aware of the fact that this will be the final lap and perhaps the lap that counts the most. They come off the 4th turn. The Jack Kyle Woodchopper special is the man that will take down the victory, and that is Mike Stefanik. Doug Everett into the number 2 spot. 3rd spot will go to Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer. 4th spot, Teddy Riggett. And 5th and final qualifying spot goes to the 85 of Jack Kyle. Ladies and gentlemen, to recap the finish for you, driving the Jack Kyle Woodchopper special. Out of Greenwich, Rhode Island, taking down the victory, Mike Stefanik. Doug Everett into the number 2 spot. 3rd is Jim Spencer. 4th is Teddy Riggett. And 5th is Jack Kyle, car number 85. Those are your top 5 automobiles in the NASCAR Winston Racing Series, round number 3. 5 cars scheduled to qualify. They dice it up off the 4th turn and down to the line. Bernie Singer and Stan Greger make up the rule of the line. Even in turn number 1, Singer on the inside of the racetrack. Outside of him is Stan Greger. Greger, first appearance in this automobile. They dice it up down the back straightaway. 4 cars, now 5 on the blanket as they head into turn number 3. It is Bernie Singer down low on the inside of the racetrack, being challenged by Stan Greger on the high side. Marty Rathman looking for 3. With car 27. Harry visiting here. Sparks fly. Smoke erupts. We've got a spin. It's the 0-0. Contact was made by Tim Airy, car number 27, and the 0-0. And that, of course, will bring out the caution. It appears that the 0-0. Marty Rathman will set in the second turn. He pulls away in his own power. He still with the caution at this point. And the caution comes out for Tim Airy, number 27, and the 0-0, Marty Rathman. Last chance for these competitors to make the move up. 5 and only 5. It's a dash to the pits. Marty Radwick leading him back to the pit area with Tim Airy. So the skirmish will make it back. It's a long road ahead, but one lap shows from the scoreboard there is still plenty of time left. Bernie Singer still keeps it nice and low as the yellow comes out. We do not go to green. Everybody's forced to tighten back up once again. The quarter-mile facility will feature the NASCAR Modified, the SKs, the Pro Stocks, and the Street Stocks. We go to green. The outside lane on the restart, and he will pull away in turn 2. Bernie Singer is now being challenged by Bobby Park. Question number 2 position. Fourth spot, that's Gordon Page. Car number 9. Behind him it is Mark Fleury holding on to the 5th and final qualifying spot. But here comes John Falcone with car number 10. Mark Fleury snaps to the back bumper of Gordon Page. It is still Gregor setting the place. Singer starting to wheel back in. Bobby Park still running the 3rd spot. Page has the 4th position. The 5th spot. He is still the 52 Mark Fleury. One spot out of the qualifier is car number 10 for John Falcone. He likes to got it down. Once again, the quest is on for that 5th and final qualifying spot. Third is held down by Gordon Page, car number 9. But John Falcone is really starting to work him over just a bit. Deep in the turn of number 3 off the 4th turn. The challenge can come here. This is the battle for the final qualifying spot. And Bernie Singer has the field to see his record. But Gregor still holds on to the number 1 battle there. The other battle is included in the racetrack. It's for the 5th spot. Gordon Page will still try to hold on. Marty Radwick comes back to the back after being involved in cutting a tire early in the event. He is starting to work his way through. Also, car number 00, John Falcone has picked up the 5th and final qualifying spot. Radwick is out of the qualifying position, and so is Gordon Page. With Danny Lewis, car 51, Brian Schofield's number 09, 27 of Tim Airy, and Greg Gabrielle's number 11. Time is starting to run out here in Stafford. It is still Dan Greger, your lead car number 37. Bernie Singer still running in 2nd. Bobby Park is still 3rd. 4th is Mark Fleury. 5th is John Falcone, and 1 spot on the qualifier. Gordon Page, followed by Marty Radwick. Danny Galulu Jr., the 09 of Brian Schofield, and the number 27 of Tim Airy. 7th lap show. The 5 indication, meaning that 5 cars will qualify currently. It is the number 10 of John Falcone, holding on to the final qualifying spot. This time off the 4th turn. The top 6 station up indicating 2 laps to go. The final 2 circles. The record book. John Falcone. Late event cars on the number 52 of Mark Fleury. Falcone bit for it down low and almost lost his qualifying spot as he gets out of James. Bobbles just a bit, coming off the 2nd turn. This time around, the white flag is out of it. 1 circuit. That's the winner. And 5 qualifiers. The final 5 will move into the main event. The race is home and quiet again. Running the Coca-Cola Fall Final here in the Stafford Speedway. Deep in turn number 3, and off the 4th turn. The checkered flag is waving down to the line, taking down victory. Car number 37 for Stan Greger. Bernie Singer is for 2nd. Bobby Park is 3rd. John Falcone is 5th. Mark Fleury. Ladies and gentlemen, to recap the finish for you in our modified consolation event with Pentax Camera Shop festivities here this afternoon. Taking down the victory, the Freddie Phelps prepared automobile, the Hanks Construction, number 37 for Stan Greger. In for 2nd, the Excel Ignition Company, number 81 for Bernie Singer. 3rd spot, the Gardner Auto Parts, number 19 for Bobby Park. 4th spot, the number 10, the Bilsom Safety Products entry for John Falcone. And 5th and final qualifying spot goes to the Dairy Farms, number 52 for Mark Fleury out of Nassau, New York. In the 2nd row on the inside, out of North Troy, Vermont, driving car number 34, it'll be Steve Poulin. 14th starting spot, out of Shelburne, Vermont, driving the number 12 automobile, it'll be Tommy Glacier. In the 5th starting spot, out of Keezers Falls, Maine, driving car number 1X, Gardner Levitt. 6th starting position will go to Colchester, Vermont's number 4 for Bonnie McRae. In the 7th starting spot, from Oshawa, Ontario, he is the leading rookie driver in 1985. He'll be driving car number 86 for Randy McDonald. Scheduled to start in the 8th starting spot, driving car number 23. From Shabaki, Nova Scotia, driving the number 23, it'll be Frank Frazier. In the 9th starting spot, driving car number 7 from St. Eustache, Quebec, driving the it'll be J.P. LaRoche, driving car 70. In the 10th starting spot, from Fairfax, Vermont, driving the number 59, it'll be Hector Leclerc. In the 11th starting spot, he'll be driving the 00. Out of St. Denis, Quebec, it'll be Roger Lepearl. 12th starting spot, driving car number 5A. Out of St. Constant, Quebec, it'll be Jean-Paul Cabana. From North Ferrisburg, Vermont, driving the number 41, it'll be Jamie Obey. 16th starting spot, from North Harrisville, New Hampshire, driving the number 16, it'll be Stub Fadden. In the 11th starting spot, from Repedy, Quebec, driving the number 11 for Claude Leclerc. 16th starting spot, he'll be driving the Skoal Bandit, number 7. Out of Portland, Oregon, Chuck Bound. 17th starting spot will go to car number 91. Out of Milton, Vermont, for Beaver Dragon. From Randolph, Massachusetts, driving car number 42, it'll be Joey Karofis. 19th starting spot, from Tampa, Florida, currently the hot shoe in the circuit here, driving car number 48, it'll be Robbie Crouch. The man that returns to New England, who definitely became the star of the afternoon so far. Out of Norwalk, Connecticut, the Snellman Racing Enterprises, number 07 for Randy LaJoy. From Ogunquit, Maine, starting in the 21st starting position, driving car number 09, it'll be Kevin LePage. From Ozone Park, New York, driving car number 01, it'll be Paul Massari. From Springfield, Massachusetts, the Camerata Tempe, number 22, it'll be Roger Camerata. 24th starting position will go to car number 15. From Turner, Maine, it'll be Mike Rowe. That car will be driven by Bobby Dragon, the number 15. 25th starting spot, from Haverhill, Massachusetts, driving car number 66, it'll be Mike Whedon. From Fitchburg, Massachusetts, he'll be driving the number 9, Kenny Bouchard. From Minot, Maine, driving car number 52, it'll be Bruce Hakey. 28th starting spot, out of South Montrose, Pennsylvania, driving car number 82 is Brad Smells. Hardwick, Vermont's number 03. For Milt Wright, will start 29th. In the 30th starting position, out of Knowlton, Quebec, driving car number 44, it'll be Keith Kavanaugh. And starting 31st on the grid, he'll be driving car number 05 out of St. Constant, Quebec, Norman Gervais. Ladies and gentlemen, there is your starting lineup. 31 cars assembled for the Coors Tour competition. At this time, we ask you to please rise to pay tribute to the Canadian national anthem.
Gentlemen, prepare your cars for competition.
And the command to start the engine from Pentax, representing the camera shop, the official start.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
We'll bring them around. Steve Poulin and Tom Glazier. Gardner Levitt, Barney McRae will make up the first 3 rows. Then it is back to Randy McDonald and Frank Frazier. J.P. LaRose, Hector LeClaire, Roger LaPearl, John Paul Cabana, Jamie Obey, and Stub Patton. The cars begin to work their way down the front straightaway into turn number 1. The event is being filmed for television. Look for the green the next time around. Tighten things up. We'll be ready to go. Once again, our thanks to Paul Mecca.
The final time as we see these automobiles at these speeds. Soon they will be approaching 100 miles an hour in competition as the stage is set.
Pace car pulls in, Ben, and we could get a start. Yvonne Bedard, Dale's job, bringing the field around. Off the turn, the green flag is out, and the NASCAR Coors Tour is underway and heads for turn number 1.
No question about it. In turn number 1 out in front. So Yvonne Bedard with car number 9. He is already on the tape inside. Just moment into 47 of Dale Shaw will move into contention. Remember, these 2 automobiles are rookie driver in the circuit for 1985. Coming off the 4th turn, we get the first challenge. And then taking place. Yvonne Bedard will see the first circuit of competition. Pressure's already being applied. Keep your eyes on some of those heavy hitters like Chuck Brown, Robbie Kraut, and of course Randy LaJoy, who are working their way from the back of the field already to the front. So the 1 lap showing of Winston Racing Series scoreboard. Here comes lap number 2. Yvonne Bedard will lead him to the line. The second spot will be held down by Dale Shaw.
Working their way to the back of the back of 59. Hector LeClaire coming up on the outside, as is the 5 of John Paul Cabana. Keep your eye on those 2 cars as they work the outside groove. LeClaire now works his way well into that top 10. He's up alongside of car number 12 as they work their way off of turn number 4. Have the strike. And big move continues.
No question about it. That is the move. Keep your eyes on this car number 59. Hector LeClaire and John Paul Cabana will work their way to the front of contention. We just had a bid for the lead. Dale Shaw put some pressure on to number 9 of Yvonne Bedard. But Bedard will hold on in his search for a win here this afternoon. He will still set the pace, but now we've got another car moving in. Car number 34 for Steve Poulin. All with the front one on the he's moved into the 3rd spot, starting to field in
veterans for a total of 9 laps this time across. We'll see if they can hold on to positions 1 and 2 when they get 10 laps.
They certainly do. It is very good for one, though, because of the team swapping going on for the rest of the second. Car number 47 for Dale Shaw holds it nice and low, but the 23 is the car that'll steal this afterway. And now, of course, is Frank Frazier. Frazier works his way to the outside, trying to put some pressure on there. John Paul Cabana has not let Frazier get out of his sight at any given point in this event for the first 12 circuits.
For those who don't know this, they are going to think about the NASCAR cars. They are full-bodied race cars, not dissimilar to Grand National automobiles. In fact, they look identical to Grand National automobiles. They work their way around the half mile here at the Stafford Speedway Labor Day afternoon. Down on the inside, holding on to that second spot is the 47 of Dale Shaw. The challenger is car number 23 for Frank Frazier, and Frazier continues to work the outside. Look who has managed to pull in and challenges as well. John Paul Cabana, the veteran who has won at this facility before, works his way off the 4th turn. Those first 6 or 7 cars run under a blanket.
About 7 cars are under a blanket in turn number 1. Developing right up front. They got the second leader of the event coming off turn 2. It is car number 23 for Frank Frazier. Frazier jumps out in front. John Paul Cabana does not let him get out of his sight. Excellent clear. Goes to the outside. Car 59. He would like to take over the 3rd spot from the car that led the event in the early going. That of course is number 8 on the field for Monsadar. Good racing right up front. Literally the top 10 cars are fighting it up. And working his way into the attention with those top 7 automobiles. Chuck Brown, car number 7, and the number 07 of Randy LaJoy. 14 laps still counting down here at the half-mile facility. Half the flag being given to Roger Camerata, car number 22.
At the line, again, for the lead is Cabana. 5 room running down on the inside of the groove. They swung just a little bit of paint in turn number 1 off the second turn. John Paul Cabana works his way around Roger Camerata's lap automobile, finds himself in the lead. A brand new leader on lap number 15. It is that crafty veteran, John Paul Cabana, car number 5A. He'll lead him across the stripe. Frazier is second.
Third, excellent clear. Holding on to the 86 machine right behind him for Randy McDonald.
Off the second turn, Cabana continues to set the pace of that legislative in for third. McDonald down on the inside, the clear up on the outside. Door into the door handle, they run through turns 3 and 4. Leclerc has run 95% of this race in the outside groove. He just doesn't seem to be able to make his move down low. He is forced to make every move that he has up on the outside, and that's the tough way around this half-mile racetrack in Stafford Springs. But speaking of having a tough way, he may find it that way. However, up front, things are pretty easy. For car number 5, John Paul Cabana, he is finding things just the way he likes them. He can run pretty much high, low, anywhere he wants to go. Takes it into turn number 1. He has about a team driver to that. Car number 23 for Frank Frazier is holding off 3 other challengers in their bid to pick up that second spot. Rob Thompson managed to edge his way right up to the outside, takes in deep into turn number 1. Trump is hooked up to the high groove. Down on the low groove is
John Paul Cabana, the leader, has dropped off the pace. Car number 5A is lifting back to the infield area.
a brand new leader now. It is car number 48, and that's Robbie Crouch out of nowhere. Crouch has managed to work his way up through. That suddenly puts the 07 of Randy LaJoy in contention for the second spot. He works his way around Frazier. Suddenly LaJoy has moved into that runner-up spot.
Number 5A, John Paul Cabana, full behind pit road. It looks like Cabana is out of the competition with some type of mechanical engine problem. He will pull the 5A behind pit road. He is out of the competition. That developing, Randy LaJoy, of course, has become the star of the afternoon, winning in the second, winning in his qualifying round, and now he is Steve Guthrie, who is two ahead of him. The back end of Robbie Crouch, number 48, and laps continue this way. 26 laps show the score. LaJoy is starting to move in. Third is the number 09 of Kevin LePage. Fourth spot is the number 86 machine of Randy McDonald, and then we go to the number 23 of Frazier, followed by Chuck Brown, excellent player, 47, 16, and 41.
For the first 25 laps of this event, it was absolutely
Checking out the operation there of Roger Camerata's car that was lapped several times, basically going to third, car number 22.
just been informed that the fact that John Paul Cabana dropped out what appeared to be over
about 3/4 of the way down the back straightaway. He went spinning around and made heavy contact with the on-call retaining wall just underneath the ice brake part. Speedway sees him forward. Third turn area. Sprint motor sales record goes to his assistance at this point. Heartbreaking situation here for car 41, a car that was running just into the top 10 out of North Claresburg, Vermont, the number 41.
Also during that, he made contact with car number 11 for Claude Woodward. Claude has pulled down onto pit road, has had some sheet metal damage on the right front, also replaced the right front tire. He is coming back out, but unfortunately, 41, Danny Obi.
Coming off turn 4, Robbie Cross is out front with the yellow state on. It's not going to green this time. Randy LaJoy has to quickly make some quick adjustments. Right to Randy LaJoy leads him on the high side. Robbie Cross evens it off just a bit. It's 48 versus 07 at the line. The green is out. It's still setting the pace out in front. LaJoy tucks his heels. He's behind number 48 on the field. There's number 49 working between the front and Kevin LaJoy. Single file, top of the lead, Chuck Bow has broken up in the back. He's set of the 4th spot. Off the 4th turn down to the line. It is still Robbie Cross. Leading car, car 48. Still running the number 2 spot. It's still number 49. That's the car 14 away. Last field, car number 91. Peter Dragon out of Winston, Vermont. Mike to the outside and has worked his way into the number 6 spot. McRae out of Colchester, Vermont. Richard's car is a car that looked like a hose or something let go. You can see steam coming out from the engine compartment of car number 23. It sets beneath the Valvoline oil sign just approaching turn number 4 as a safety group. And while his towing record goes to the assistance of this time, this has only been the second caution in this event. The LaJoie machine looks to put brand new right side tires on the number 07 because it appears that the Grand National Auto Sales record and the Sprint Motor Sales record are picking up the 23, and there will be just enough delay for the number 07 to get back into the thick of things. The only problem is here. The 07 LaJoie will have to do it from the back of the pack. Dragon is also into the pits, car number 91. He was a car that was also unofficially running in the top 6.
Keep in mind, there are only, as far as we can establish here, this of course is unofficial, but there are only 6 cars running. Yep. The lead lap to take long tires. Now, obviously, he's going to go from the back and try to run up and see how it all turns out. Chuck Jeffries has an infield report for us. Chuck?
Just 2 additional updates from cars that dropped out earlier. The number 22 of Roger Camerata out with a motor problem, and the number 66 of Mike Wheaton overheating.
There you have it from out of the infield area. Perfect circle picture gasket report from Chuck Jeffries on a couple of the cars that dropped out of the competition here. Well, they brought the number 23 to the infield hammock style, which is not a good sign. The car's suffering severe damage at this point. Stuff flat in car number 60. 2x2 and side by side. They are ready once again. Green flag comes out off the 4th turn. Robbie Crouch is your lead car.
Once again pulls away and leaves a lot of daylight between himself and the 09 of LePage. 3 cars briefly come together on the front straightaway. Everybody is able to make it by, but it is the 40 team of Robbie Crouch out front and standing tall, keeping an eye on the 07 of Randy LaJoie. Can he make it back in time to make that 2 stops worthwhile? Remember, he gave up that second spot and has 12 laps, which will try to pick it up once again. Randy LaJoie now gets by the lap automobile, finds himself working the rear bumper of Randy McDonald in the 86. Off the turn, Crouch is really stretching things out. As he's holding it, lifts that hot pipe up with the broom handle, and at this point, so we should be able to go back to green momentarily. So we will have to do it all over again. Obviously, one of the stories of interest, especially to the screen displayed to the field. You can anticipate the start next time around. The lead row, Robbie Crouch, the conductor, off the turn. Green flag is back out. Crouch puts the hammer down and leads them at the line. Robbie Crouch, car number 48, takes the field to turn 1 and 2 once again. Chuck Mound now takes the peak underneath car number 09. Kevin LePage, the battle is for second. Mound down to the inside. LePage gets up in the loose stuff. Chuck Mound now suddenly takes over that second spot. He's just inside the rear bumper of car. Robbie Crouch was 48. And Randy LaJoie also trying to work his way back to the field. He suddenly finds himself stuck right behind Randy McDonald in the 86. All of this happening out on the half mile as Robbie Crouch begins to open things up once again. It is Crouch and Mound. In that order, 1, 2, 3, Crouch. Finishing second is Chuck Bound. And it is Randy LaJoy, Randy McDonald, and Beaver Dragon in that order. And what a race it turned out to be for Robbie Crouch. In the fourth spot, it would be the 86 of Randy McDonald, and rounding out the top 5, car number 91 for Beaver Dragon. Down in victory lane, car number 48, the Alan Lumber Company Buick. Taking his helmet off and climbing out of the race car, a very happy Robbie Crouch. Let's go trackside with Ben Dodge. Ben?
Company, Buick Regal, setting in the winner's circle, and the man who finished second in driving the Skull Bandit, Derry Mart, number 7, Chuck Bound, and the man who pitted, the only car to pit for tires, the number 07 for Randy LaJoy, who finished in the 3rd spot. We'll give them just a second to get out of the automobile as the victory photos are being taken, and Robbie Crouch will get out and hit to the winner's circle for the Pentax presentations here trackside. Into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a nice round of applause. Car number 48, Robbie Crouch. Robbie, 100 laps of competition and only 2 cautions, corrections, 3 cautions in the event. It wasn't an easy race by no means. A lot of pressure and a lot of traffic out there this afternoon.
Yeah, there was a lot of traffic, but I get through it pretty good, and I got in the lead fairly early, I thought. And of course, Randy was behind me, and he put the pressure on. He seemed to be getting into the corners a little bit better than I was, and he could get up underneath me over here. But I got off good, and the car ran terrific, and then I seemed to get stronger as the race wore on. So, you know, it was a terrific run for us. The car was perfect, and I just had to go out there and turn the wheel and not make any mistakes.
Well, it certainly proved that you did not make any mistakes, holding off some of the best of them on a tour. It's been a good season so far for Robbie Crouch in the competition. You've had some great finishes in the more recent rundowns and so forth.
Yeah, I've had a fantastic season so far, and I hope it's not over. You know, I'd like to thank Stafford Speedway and Ed Yarrington and everyone down here, Pentax, for bringing us down and letting us run this race today. It's a beautiful facility, and we really enjoy it. Thanks for the fans, everybody that came out to see us today.
Well, now we're going to move Harry Goberman in from Pentax and Camera Shop to officially congratulate Robbie Crouch on his victory and give him the official presentations of the trophies. I know he's got a couple of special words that he'd like to say to you, Rob.
Hey, on behalf of Pentax, I want to thank you. You gave us really exciting racing, and man, you deserved it. You did great.
There you have it, the victory handshake. We're going to be moving in our 2nd place finisher and our 3rd place finisher. So we'll ask Robbie to stay in here with us. The 2nd and 3rd place finishers in this event here this afternoon. Randy LaJoy, you had a great afternoon in the qualifying activities. You were the only car to pit for tire. Was that a decision made by you or by your crew?
Well, it was a gamble we both took. We were running second. We knew we couldn't catch him. We kind of wore out our tires. He had a small motor. We had a big motor. And we run the car hard all day long, so we knew we were kind of out of tires. And we come in and took a gamble. We knew there was only 13 laps left, and there's only 6 cars in the lead lap. And I think a late rate course and about 5 to go might have helped us a little bit, but that's the game.
Well, you did an impressive job. It's nice to come back to Stafford where you did so well in open wheel racing. With a full-bodied car, you certainly was among the more popular drivers out there this afternoon.
Well, I'm glad. The Pentax people, I'm glad they have us here, and the Coors people for the tour, and our sponsors. It's a just wonderful facility, and I hope we come back next year.
Well, Robbie Crouch is about to shake up the champagne just a bit, and we'll go to Chuck Bound as everyone's being sprayed here in the winner's circle. And the victory drink will be taken by Robbie Crouch. He hands it over to Chuck Bound, the number 2 man, and then it'll be passed down to Randy LaJoy. I'm going to move over to Chuck here and
push Randy down just a bit. Chuck, you finished in the number 2 spot. Number 2 is not where you probably wanted to finish, but it was a good afternoon for the Skoll car.
Well, yeah, it really was, but we were pretty much racing for third all day, and like the rest of the fans up there, I was watching the battle between Randy and Robbie most of the day, and I'd like to thank Randy for pitting there at the end and putting on tires and helping me out a little bit.
Well, there you have it. The race was won in the pit area and on the racetrack, too.
I'd also like to take a minute real quick and thank my sponsors, Dairy Mart and Skoll Bandits and Pontiac and my whole crew. They worked pretty hard this season, and we haven't had a lot of luck, so second's not first, but it's the next best thing to it, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a nice round of applause. Your top 3 in the Coors Tour presentation here in the winner's circle at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Attention all drivers to the start.
Okay, Jerry. Yep. Kenny. Oh, I'm sorry.
I turned the scope off on the radio.
Okay, I can
Again. Starter Frank Scabata tells the field one more time around before they're set to go to green. Pontiac Trans Am safety vehicle, the official pace car of the Stafford Motor Speedway, will pull to the inside before we're set to go back to green flag competition here at the start of this event. It's been an unbelievable afternoon of competition.
Caution period will be counted. Otherwise, we stop counting those laps so that it will not prove to end up with 35 or 40% of the race run under yellow. We want to make sure that we are able to present a green flag race. And with a cast such as we held, absolute excitement when it comes to open wheel modified racing. Now begins to pull away with the Pontiac Trans Am pace car, the official pace car here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, courtesy of your Central Connecticut Pontiac dealer. Quicken the pace just a bit. And here to call the start of this 100-lap grind, the voice of the Stafford Motor Speedway, here's Ben Dodge.
Stage is set now. We're ready to begin. The pace is much slower than we've traditionally seen here at Stafford, but in just a few seconds, they'll pick it up just a bit. We go to green off turn number 4. Ross is out in front, like less than half a car length. The drag race in turn number 1, the Brian Ross out of Boston, Front of York, is a number 1 man out in front as they come off that second turn. Jeff Fuller is forced to tuck it into the number 2 spot, and Kenny Bouchard works his way to third, but suddenly in turn number 4, we've got Richie Evans hooked up on the house side with Mike McLaughlin right there on his back bumper. Evans takes over the third spot. McLaughlin is almost pushing Evans all the way down the front straightaway. Good racing action already starting to develop. 1 lap shows on the scoreboard. It is Brian Ross to lead the first circuit. Jeff Fuller runs in second. Evans is up to third. Fourth is Kenny Bouchard. Fifth is McLaughlin. And sixth is currently the 26 of George Kent as they head to the stripe.
At the stripe, Brian Ross continues to set the pace. Richie Evans, Mike McLaughlin, and the 28 of George Brunhosel, all running that high groove as they run wheel to wheel down the back straightaway. Reggie Ruggiero in the 21 now pulls up alongside of Brunhosel. The first 8, 10, make it 12 cars run under a blanket side by side, wheel to wheel. Some absolutely magnificent racing here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Richie Evans gets hooked up that time. He works his way right around Kenny Bouchard. Makes an attempt to take over the second spot. He works the high side of Jeff Fuller. Fuller down on the inside. It is Evans hung out to dry on the outside. They're even Steven at the line.
No question about it. At the line, they were even Steven, but by the time they come into turn number 2, Evans is out in front by less than half a car length in the situation there. He puts the number 61 out, and Mike McLaughlin follows Evans through like they're hitched up together, almost in tandem action as they come off the turn. Mike McLaughlin, remember, he won at the Oswego Speedway already once this weekend. He runs very, very impressively, still working his way in contention here on the outside of Jeff Fuller. Evans has got it for Reggie Ruggiero.
6 laps posted up on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard. Richie Evans was able to blast his way through the pack and take over that second spot from Fuller. But he certainly has got his hands full now. He is not reeling in the rear bumper of Brian Ross with any ferocious moves at all. Evans holds about a 5-car length disadvantage to the Ross automobile as they work the front straightaway into turn number 1. Both Brian Ross, Richie Evans, and Mike McLaughlin, who is now broken free and sits in the 3rd spot, run pretty much evenly separated down the back straightaway.
No question about it. They are pretty much as Russ at the number 28 machine of George Brunhosel. Still, the front 3 positions remain the same. Challenges on for 4th. Fuller is holding off Ken, Kenny Bouchard, and Ruggiero still waiting in this one. 9 laps of the 100 laps are complete as we continue down the back straightaway.
Off the second turn, George Kent gets hooked up on the outside. The outside bend seems to have been the fast groove all day long. Kent hooked up out there. He manages to work his way by Kenny Bouchard. He now finds himself right on the rear bumper of Jeff Fuller. As Fuller holds down that 4th position on the track, Kent is 5th. As they work their way down the back straightaway on lap number 10, here's how the field stands unofficially. It is Brian 5th, is the 26th of Kent. Then 6th would be Charlie Jazombek, the U2 of Bouchard, the 21 of Reggie Ruggiero, and the 28th of George Brunhosel. Bud Stevens, Mike Stefanik, and Jamie Tomato round out the rest of that lead pack.
Well, 11-lap show on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard, and the man that definitely is going to go into the record book and the all-time winningest driver for the 1985 season here at the Stafford Motor Speedway is the man that goes to the outside of Jeff Fuller. And that, of course, is car number 5 for Charlie Jazombek. Jazombek runs on rails both high and low on the racetrack, and unofficially looking at it, it appears that Jazombek is definitely the fastest car on the half mile here this afternoon. Charlie Jazombek wastes no time at all. He goes to the outside of Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin, gets sideways just a moment, but that doesn't stop old Charging Charlie. He moves alongside to try to get around McLaughlin. He's got himself the number 3 spot, and now he looks for the back bumper of Richie Evans, the National Modified Champion, as they head to the line. 14 laps for history in this 100-lap event.
The interesting thing is that Richie Evans was able to blast his way through traffic, but has not been able to gain a single inch on Brian Ross. Ross with about a 10-car length advantage over the Rapid Roman as they approach turn number 3, but Charlie Jazombek certainly is gaining on the rear bumper of Evans. Jazombek is hooked up and is running on rails at 15 laps posted on the scoreboard.
15 laps and counting down in this event. It is still Brian Ross, your lead automobile. About, I would say, 10 car lanes between him is Richie Evans running in 2nd. Then we go about 2 car lanes back, and it's Charlie Jazombek 3rd. 4th is Mike McLaughlin. 5th is Jeff Fuller. 6th is George Kent. 7th, Kenny Bouchard. 8th, Reggie Ruggiero. 19th, him and Evans that he had on the first 16 circuits of competition. He currently is on the 17th circuit at this time. Ross is still out in front. George Kent, who was challenging early, has backed off just a bit. He is currently running just out of the top 5. And again, the laps continue to tick away. Here they come off the 4th turn. It is Brian Ross, your lead car. Evans still in 2nd. Jazombek in 3rd. And Jazombek
A little more attention than will the Toro trying to catch Brian Ross. In fact, it may eat up very little attention because Charlie may end the suffering in just a matter of a few more feet as off the 2nd turn, Jazombek pulls up on the outside of Evans and blasts on by like Richie Evans was not even there. Absolutely incredible for Charlie Jazombek. You watch him run down the 73 of Brian Ross.
It is definitely coming up. Coming off, Mr. Excitement's number 8 for Jimmy Spencer. He's being black flagged for smoking at this time. 23 laps are complete in this 100-lap program.
Obviously, this is going to be an area. It has not been the best day in the world for Mark either, and he finds himself going down a lap or two at this point as he confers with his crew regarding the fate of car number 52. 25% of this race has been completed. 25 laps posted on the scoreboard, and here's how things stand. At this point, Brian Ross runs up front. That advantage over the second place car has been reduced to about 5 car lengths. Interestingly enough, something else has happened to Richie Evans. Mike McLaughlin has managed to sneak by. Jeff Fuller is going on by as Richie Evans is fading fast. George Kent also now takes a look to the outside and is slowing car number 61 down here this afternoon.
Car number 8, Rhode Island, the car that was flagged, is sitting on pit road. There's an excessive amount of smoke coming from beneath the engine.
Race, as is the case with Jimmy Spencer, car number 8 goes back behind the wall.
Jim Spencer, who was flagged for the competition, goes back behind pit road with the hood off the automobile. Spencer is out of this one and getting quicker almost on each and every circuit. Ross will come up on car number 85 for Jack Lucas approaching turn number 1. As he sets up on the high side, he has lost a lot of ground on this move, having problems getting around Lucas currently as they head deep into turn number 3. Good battle going on right up front as the first and second place cars are starting to work their way through traffic, and traffic, as always, could become the deciding key ingredient in this event.
7 of those last cars now are right directly in front of Brian Ross, and he has to work his way around each and every one of them. Waiting in the wings, 1 car length behind, is Charlie Jarzombek as the 2 leaders work their way through that traffic off the 4th turn up in the high groove. They get by 2. 5 are left to pass as the 73 of Brian Ross moves up and around the Stan Greger automobile. They set their sights on Teddy Riggert, Dave Resendez, Jerry Cranmer, Doug Hevron, and John Hoffman. Those are the cars that they must get by. And Jarzombek is an absolute master bet at driving traffic.
Just as you say that, Russ, it almost happened in turn 2. Matter of fact, it looks like it's going to happen as they come off the second turn. But this time it's car number 07, Teddy Riggett and Resendez. Resendez takes Jarzombek up high. He puts the car into a 4-wheel drive type of a slide, and then he gasses it back impressively. He lost a lot of ground in that move, but Jarzombek will hold on. Just as we predicted, the lap cars have become a factor in this event. But there is still plenty of time left. Your lead car is still Brian Ross. He will still set the pace. The once impressive distance between him and Jarzombek, that was less than a car length and a half, is now turned into almost a full straightaway distance. We've got a spin. Reggie Ruggiero goes around with car number 21, and so does Corky Cookman with the number 04, bringing out a caution on lap number 39. They're working in the rear compartment of the rear end compartment of the number 61. To pit road goes the number 5 of Charlie Jarzombek, 76 of Tommy Bowles, Resendez number 79, 21 of Reggie Ruggiero, 37 of Greger, the 10 of Falcone, 71 of Rosati, 15 of Mike Stefanik. On Charlie J's machine, car number 5.
Right and left rubber is being changed on the front and away. Corky Cookman now drops down by the pace car. It appears as though this time around the pits will pick up a couple of additional cars. Cookman will go in. The 15 of Stefanik, the 85 of Jack Lucas, and Reggie Ruggiero will go around and come back in as well. Jeff Fuller gets the okay to pull away and head back, has a slight advantage, in fact a considerable advantage on the restart, because he is much closer to the 2 lead cars than will be someone such as Charlie or Jeff Fuller, John Falcone.
The Ralph Soderberg was brought down pit road, and now they're changing the right rear tire on the Stefanik automobile. With, again,
99, Jamie Termino overheating, the 52 of Fleury, the brakes, and the 8 of Jimmy Spencer, the valve cover gasket.
Thank you very much, Chuck Jeffries, with our Perfect Circle Victor Gasket infield report. We could get a start this time around. Brian Ross leads the charge into turn number 3. Green flag comes out, and off the turn, it will be Ross, followed by McLaughlin, George Kent, Bud Stevens, Ted Riggert, and the U2 of Kenny Bouchard.
Ross, take note of car number 26. George Kent's hood is actually lifting up on the right side, the right rear portion of the hood. As he comes off that 4th turn, this could become a real problem for George Kent. As you'll see him come off the 4th turn, you'll note that the rear corner of the hood will actually lift up about 3/4 of the way down. As it settles back down, the air pressure is on, and it appears to be okay. Mike Stefanik Stefanik now is smoking. Car number 15 is starting to puff heavy smoke at this point, and Stefanik appears to have some type of a problem with the Jack Pizzella machine.
He seems to be dropping off the pace just a bit. However, does not seem to be willing to give up the ghost at this point. In fact, may not even be aware of the fact that the car is emitting orange smoke. Into turn number 1, the caution light is out for the 15, but look at the battle we've got going up front. Brian Ross may still be out front, but Bud Stevens finds room underneath Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin, and Stevens slides right in, and he picks up that second spot. Stevens is on a roll, and believe it or not, he looks as though he's ready to reel in the rear bumper of Brian Ross.
It certainly appears that way, Russ. In the turn number 3, Carl Bugsy Stevens, who's had no luck at all, is running extremely fast in this event. He is reeling in on the back bumper of car number 73, and we're sure that Ross is looking in his mirror saying, wow, where did he come from?
Of all the people,
Yep.
Why do I have to have Bugs back there?
From out of the midfield pack comes car number 4, the Bobcar Marina Mystic River Marina machine has reeled in Brian Ross. They come off the 4th turn. He's got it all narrowed up. Halfway point in the event, Stan Gregor, car number 37, is limping back to the pit area. Gregor's got a problem with the brake belt repaired automobile. We've got a pit for the lead. Carl Bugsy Stevens goes down underneath. Turn the Bugman is going to try to take it away as they come into turn number 1. Carl Bugsy Stevens still really putting some pressure on Ross. We've got a brand new leader in turn 2.
Absolutely incredible as the house goes crazy here at Stafford with Carl Bug Stevens making a desperate attempt to take away that lead from Brian Ross. Side by side, they run off the 4th turn. Ross back with the advantage at the stripe. But again, in the 1st turn, Ross takes it up a little bit high. Stevens puts the nose of the Mystic Missile down underneath. It is an incredible raceman for the lead.
No question about it. Carl Bugsy Stevens wants this event. He is deserving of it, and so is in Ross. It's going to be a battle right down to the line. It is still Ross out in front by less than a car length. In the turn, Carl Bugsy Stevens still keeping it nice and low. He is down underneath the number 73. Horsepower to the advantage down the back straightaway, and Ross has it in the turn number 3, but Carl Bugsy Stevens does not let him out of his sight. They come off the 4th turn, and Stevens has got it down low once again, but Ross will lead it on lap 54. The only thing to the competition, while everything was happening up front, there's another battle going on. There's Richie Evans and the number 5 of Charlie Jazombach work their way back into the thick of things. They are coming through traffic and currently on the racetrack are running about the 8th and 9th positions currently and still working their way to the front. Off the 4th turn, he will gather it back, and we still are under green here at Stafford.
Off the 4th turn, Brian Ross, Charlie Jazombach side by side with Jazombach, just getting that advantage. Then it is the 55 of Rick Fuller, the 28 of Hemser up on the scoreboard. We have 39 left to run as Brian Ross and Bud Stevens pace the field. They have about a 10-car length advantage over Mike McLaughlin, Kenny Bouchard, George Kent, Charlie Jazombach, and Richie Evans.
Jazombach has just won around Richie Evans coming off that 2nd turn. Charlie J goes to the outside, goes by Richie Evans with ease, and then he looks to put some pressure on George Kent. Kent currently is running in the 5th spot of the racetrack. Jazombach is in the 6th position. Charlie Jazombach just as quick now as he was at the start of this event. He goes to the outside of George Kent's machine. He is about to take over the 5th spot. Kenny Bouchard sets to the 4th spot, and Jazombach is not happy with the 5th spot. He wants the number 1 spot, so he is going to work his way to the outside of Kenny Bouchard and try to take over the 4th position with car number 5. It appears that he will do that with ease. He has mastered the outside here of the half-mile facility. Charlie Jazombach now, again, the fastest car on the racetrack. He takes over position number 4 and looks to move in on car number 3 for Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin.
64 laps are both close that gap as McLaughlin goes in deep into turn number 3. The same for Jazombach. Charlie has closed at least 15 to 20 feet in 1 lap and appears to be really reeling in that rear bumper of Mike McLaughlin. Can it be that far away, Ben, before he is right on the rear bumper of Stevens and Brian Ross?
It certainly appears that way as you look how quick the number 5 automobile of Jazombach looks. Carl Bugsy Stevens is still not happy with the number 2 spot. He is still working over Brian Ross, pressuring him to go both high and low on the racetrack on just about each and every circuit here at the half-mile facility. But Ross is the veteran. He is the defending champion, but he's got the best of the business behind him. He is well aware of that factor. John Rosani, a lap car as the leaders come up on him. Jazombach is almost up to Magic Shoes Mike McLaughlin at this point. Evans seems to be pacing himself just as he did in the early laps of the competition. 68-lap show on the Winston Racing Series scoreboard. Still a lot of time left in this one. If they come off the fourth turn, here is still the distance of a regular Friday night program here at Stafford left in the running of this Pentax 100 here at Stafford.
Down into turn number 1, a tough break for John Rosati, who was so impressive in his time trial earlier today. Rosati suddenly finds himself down 1 lap as a result of a spin as the Brian Ross automobile and Carl Bud Stevens work the outside. They put Rosati down a lap. McLaughlin goes on by, as does Jarzombeck. Through turn, he is no longer right on the rear bumper of McLaughlin, and Jarzombeck, in fact, that time around was almost sideways in the first turn right in front of Kenny Bouchard. So problems developing in the Ernie Wilsberg mount for Charlie Jarzombeck. He has slowed considerably, which will take an awful lot of pressure off the rest of the field. Jarzombeck drops to the inside of the track. It appears as though he has either something broken in the suspension or could in fact have a tire going down on car number 5. That is a tough break for Sergeant Charlie.
No question about it. Jarzombeck was running so strong, but as you mentioned, the car is extremely squirmy on the racetrack. It almost looks like he's trying to fight the automobile to keep it back into position. And it looks like Jarzombeck is just hoping for a caution at this point that he could duck to the pit area. The car is literally dancing out there on the racetrack. Brian Ross has started to pull away from the number 4 of Carl Bugsy Stevens. Stevens is not letting him get too far out of his sight. Mike McLaughlin is doing the same type of thing. Headhunting on the back bumper of the number 4 automobile, and then of course in the 4th spot it is still the number U2 of Kenny Bouchard. 5th spot is Richie Evans. 6th spot George Kent. Unofficially 7th is Charlie Jarzombeck. 8th is Ray Miller. 9th is Ricky Fuller, and 10th is George Wimhozel. That is unofficial of the top 10. 77 laps are complete.
Two can once again run with the very best of them here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and even though 79 laps are up on the scoreboard, it's far from over.
No question about that one. 79 laps show on the scoreboard. It is Brian Ross who is the man out in front. Running in second is still the number 73 automobile, correction, the number 4 automobile of Carl Bugsy Stevens. 3rd spot is still McLaughlin. McLaughlin has just paced himself. He has really not been challenged by anyone other than Charlie Jarzombeck for a short time before Jarzombeck met with misfortune with his car and was forced to back way off the pace. 80th lap show on our scoreboard.
Just a bit on the rear bumper of Mike McLaughlin. We are going to have a real battle. Evans, as you said, Ben, may in fact have been pacing himself. He was right behind Kenny Bouchard only a matter of a couple of laps ago. Suddenly he blasts by Bouchard and now works the rear bumper of McLaughlin. It could be a little game of cat and mouse on the part of the 8-time National NASCAR Modified Champion, Richie Evans, on a roll as he looks underneath McLaughlin this time around. 84 laps are up on the scoreboard.
84 laps and counting them down. It is still Brian Ross setting a blistering pace. Carl Bugsy Stevens still running in the number 2 spot. Richie Evans is down at the bike, and Richie Evans has taken over the number 3 spot. Evans is the guy to keep your eyes on at this event. He is already starting to move in. The question is, will time run out? There are less than 15 laps until this event will go into the record books, and Ross is the man who has literally dominated the racing action so far.
Tell you what, we'll play an interesting little game here. We'll run a watch between Brian Ross and Richie Evans over the next couple of laps and see just how much Evans is able to gain, if any. 2.83 seconds separates the two drivers on lap number 86. 2.83 seconds. And we'll check it this time around and find out just how many feet, or seconds we should say, that Brian Ross is able to gain or lose to Richie Evans. Evans is gaining considerably. From a 2.83 to a 2.67. Richie Evans is closing. The only question is, are there enough laps for Evans to close in, work his way around to Stevens, and then set up and try to make a move on Brian Ross? The guess from this vantage point would be that Evans will prevail, and it appears to be a piece of cake for Richie Evans. He pulls right up alongside the inside of Stevens. Through turns 3 and 4, Evans is hooked to the track. Stevens is as loose as the proverbial goose. So Richie Evans has managed to work his way into that second spot, but there is a long haul yet to go if he is to reel in flying Brian Ross. Ross, this time across the line, has but 4 circuits of the half mile to complete in order to take down this year's edition of the Camera Shop Pentax 200. There it is. The popsicle sticks are up. 2 to go. The final 2 circuits for car number 73. Flying Brian Ross. Out of Boston Spa, New York, the West Hartford Tool and Die Chevrolet Cavalier deep into turn number 3. Off the 4th turn, we'll pick him up and follow him around. This is it, the final circuit. It is Ross at the line. He takes it in. Nice and easy through turns 1 and 2. Runs about a mid-groove through the turn, drops it down just a bit, takes it right back out to the wall down the backstretch. Tucks it in nice and easy between 3 and 4. Ross off the 4th turn. The fans to their feet, and Brian Ross takes down the win. Richie Evans finishes 2nd. Bug Stevens holds on for 3rd over George Kent. Kent finishes 4th. 5th will go to the U2 of Kenny Bouchard, and 6th to number 3 for Mike McLaughlin. So Brian Ross leads all 100 laps in this, the modified portion of the Camera Shop Pentax 200 weekend. Best runs he's had all season long here at the Speedway. Ends up in the 3rd spot, and George Kent takes down 4th. Unofficially in 5th would be Kenny Bouchard, followed by Mike McLaughlin. Rating season. Car number 73, out of Boston Spa, New York, working his way down to Winston Victory Lane. How about a nice round of applause for Brian Ross? And Ben Dodge is waiting there to handle the interview. In fact, let's go trackside right now. Ben?
Well, into Winston Victory Lane, this gentleman is no stranger here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. He is the defending track champion. Out of Boston Spa, New York, the driver of the West Hartford Tool and Die number 73, the Ed Lanier. Ed's on a machine-powered race car. Ross is about ready to get out of the automobile with the Gatorade hat on. Our winner in the Pentax Camera Shop Modified 100, it is Brian Ross. What an impressive run it was. Others pitted early in the competition, but Ross got out in front and maintained that number 1 spot, pacing himself to the laps that counted the most, the final laps, and Ross putting on the Pentax hat now. He'll be getting out of the automobile and heading to Victory Lane for the official presentation. Into the winner's circle here at the Stafford Motor Speedway in the running of the Gatorade special event for the Pentax Modified 100. Brian Ross is all smiles again. He has proven to be another winner here in the winning circle. Good job done, Brian. It was a long event, but you got out in front early. Matter of fact, before we started this program, you said that you would like to pace yourself and come on strong at the end. What we've seen today was almost the opposite for Brian Ross.
Well, you know, getting the opportunity to start on a pole like that, I got to thank Reggie for that. He drew the right number, you know. You can't very well take it easy from there. You gotta go out front and put it out there tough so that everybody coming has to work harder than you, and they work their tires off. And you know, I see them guys pit, and I didn't really think it was the right thing to do. That's why I stayed there, because the track felt greasy to me, and I thought my tires looked all right, so I opted to stay, and I think it was the wise decision.
It certainly proved to be the wise decision, as you're the man that's standing here on the Winston podium as the winner of the event. Brian, it has been a tough season, a lot of hard luck coming at the end of the 1985 season here at Stafford. You're running in the number 2 spot in the point standings here. Charlie Jazarbach had some problems, but came on strong late in the event.
Well, we had about a 3 or 4 week bad slump that we were in there, but you know, we got a good sponsor, West Hartford Tool and Die, and they stayed with us. Larry and Barbara stayed with us. They believe in me, and they believe in the team, and that's helped us through the tough times, and we just keep fighting back, and here we are. We won another one, you know.
Well, the big events are coming up. Here at Stafford, a big one today. You move on to the Thompson Speedway and on to Pocono. It's really almost the end of the season, but the start for all of the big ones.
Well, yeah, we're getting into kind of a different type of season now. I'm going to enjoy this last part because we've been running about 4 nights a week on the Gatorade Circle of Champions trailer. And those Wednesday night shows have been tough on me, working a full-time job. And I think that's hurt our program a little bit, especially our program here at Stafford. to try and run on a Wednesday night and then come back and be totally prepared to run on a Friday night is a pretty tough deal. But we stuck with it. We decided that that's what we wanted to do at the beginning of the season. We stuck with it. And Ed Lanier of Ed's Auto Machine, Ed and Helen, they've been so good to me, kept me in motors through the program. And Sonny and Julie Cazella, they've helped me out so much, you know. Cazella Speed there and all the other sponsors that have helped me, I appreciate so much. And without them, I never would have been able to make it through the tough part of the season.
Well, the gentleman standing next to you is our official sponsor for the program, Harry Goberman, extremely excited about your victory here this afternoon. Harry, I know you have a couple of quick things you'd like to say to Brian Ross.
Yeah, on behalf of Pentax Corporation, I'd like to congratulate you on a fantastic race. You had me standing all the time. And I'd like to give you a new Pentax A3000 camera, and now you can take pictures as good as you drive. And thank you. You were terrific, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks so much to Pentax for supporting our program here every year. They're an important asset to our program here. This is a nice race that we have every year in the fall of the year, and we appreciate their help so much.
Well, we're going to step back just a bit and let some of our other representatives get in. Robbie Crouch, who won the late model portion, is congratulating Brian Ross for his great victory here.
So we put some wedge in it and changed the stagger around, and then the car was good.
Well, Richie, it was a definitely good race right down to the line. The B.R. DeWitt number 61 has had an impressive season. You, again, are the National Modified Champion, and you have to be extremely pleased with that.
I don't mind finishing behind Brian anytime. He's fair to race with, and we've had some good races, the Sizzler, and he got this one back now.
There you have it. Now the gentleman that at one point in this event really ran the wheels off from Brian Ross, and he is Stafford's all-time winningest driver, Carl Bugsy Stevens. Bugsy, you were right in there. I'm going to move by Brian in just a second here. The 4 has had a tough season. A lot of hard luck for the Bob Garbarino Mystic River Marina crew, but today it looked like the car was running really, really well. At one point, you challenged Ross at several points down low on the inside of the racetrack, and it just looked like it could have been your day here this afternoon. You have to be pleased with how the car ran.
Ran good today, yes. We had a right rear tire go on us about 26 laps. Brian and I were having fun. He was going high, I was going low, and I said, Brian, just don't screw up. And then I dropped back, and then by me playing with him, we were slowing down. So I ducked in behind him, and I just wanted to save the car for the last of the race, but the right rear tire must have let go. And then I was just hanging on and watch old Grandpa Richie come by.
Well, it's been an interesting afternoon for the over 40 gang in the winner's circle here at the Stafford Motor Speedway.
I think these guys are all grandfathers too, you know.
They probably are, but they never own up to it either. I'm going to be stepping down. The additional presentations will be made. We'll go back upstairs to Russ Dowd for the official finish and rundown.
And with the win, Richie Evans for second, and Carl Buck Stevens in for third. Fourth position would go to the 26 for George Kent. Fifth, the U2 for Kenny Bouchard. Sixth, again, these are unofficial, the 3 of Mike McLaughlin. Seventh would be the 7 of Ray Miller. Eighth would be the 5 of Charlie Jazambek. Ninth would be the 28 of George Brunhosel. And again, unofficially rounding out the top 10 would be the 2X of Jeff Fuller.